Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing as best they can tonight. I wanted to talk a little bit more about my post from yesterday, which was about the energy of terror itself, not our reaction to terror. And in my talk yesterday, you can find it lower on my page, I discuss how we retract, we try to hold ourselves in from the energy of terror itself, which is just an energy that's so big, so huge. We're perceiving it that way that we can't fathom actually surviving, withstanding, or managing a level of energy that big. And so to go into our own hearts and work with our own demons, we like to call them, by exploring what it would be to be the energy of itself. And what we've been seeing across the whole globe, and particularly in America, and what we saw yesterday, is a result of what happens when we're not willing to go inward and look at what we like to call the demons inside ourselves, and we start projecting them outwards, and we believe there is something to attack because there is energy coming towards us that's so big we can't fathom being able to withstand it. And so political violence happens when people are so afraid that they cause terrorism. They're so terrified of whatever the change is that the country is moving in that they decide they have to fight what they're seeing as a demon, what they're seeing as evil. And so that's why it's so important for those of us who desire peace, value the inherent value of everyone in this country, to examine what's in our own hearts and do the work that brings us peace inside of our own hearts. Because otherwise we get lost. We get lost in the terror that others are perceiving all around us. They're seeing demons that they go after to fight, which then frightens us to believe we're seeing demons to then go after to fight. And the more we do the work to bring peace into our own hearts, the more we can take the necessary action that needs to happen to hold people accountable, to enforce the consequences at the level they need to be enforced, but doing it with peace in our hearts, continuing to create the space of what we want to see in the world, rather than doing the same actions of desiring peace, therefore holding people accountable and enforcing consequences, yet having a fight in our heart or having more terror in our heart. That just continues the energy of terror and continues to escalate the violence we see all around us of people fighting what they're seeing as demons. So I talked yesterday about exploring the energy of terror itself when, if you're willing to, if you're facing something you're afraid of, try to see what it's like to embody an energy that's the bigness that you're afraid of. That's one way to start to explore what we're calling a demon, rather than projecting it outward and wanting to attack things outside of ourselves, working with what's inside, recognizing what's the fear inside our heart. Where are we afraid to be destroyed? But I want to go even a step even below, not below, but before, starting to explore the bigness and take it on as a dance, as I was talking about yesterday. But just being with yourself quietly. And I've talked about this before. Offering love to yourself, offering understanding, where you know that there's pain, where you know that there's fear. And one way to do this is simply to just sit with your hands over your heart and just say, I'm loving you through this. Even if it doesn't feel true, or you're not quite sure what it means, you can just say, I'm loving you through this. I understand that there's fear, I understand that there's pain, and you're talking to yourself. And just keep working in that way. I'm loving you through this. I'm understanding that there's pain. I'm understanding that there's fear. What do you need me to know? Show me what I need to see. Ask to be shown what's in your heart in a different way. And in this way, you can start to cultivate the peace inside your own heart that you're wishing to see in the world around you. Because that's the only way we'll be able to see it outside of ourselves, is until we've done it inside of ourselves and cultivated peace within our own hearts. And as we're working to make it known that we don't want terror in this country or in the world, we don't agree with that energy, that's not the energy we're working towards. The more peace we've already cultivated in our own hearts, the more we can do that while expanding the space of peace outside of ourselves, rather than continuing the energy of fight, demons, enemies, terror. You can't really eradicate terror with terror. You're just all lost in terror together. So it's not passive to do the work on the inside for yourself. That's not a passive act. That's an important act. Because our hearts actually have real life energetic fields that expand outside of ourselves. Huge electromagnetic fields that expand outside of our hearts. So what our own energy that we're carrying in our hearts is what our electromagnetic field expands outwards out of us. This is actual science. This has been measured. So consider that. Consider that there's a true measurable wavelength of electromagnetic energy coming out of your own body. And so cultivating the peace inside your own heart pushes that out through your actual electromagnetic wave that's coming out of you. The saying, be the change you want to see in the world, that really starts with your own heart. So again, it's just, I'm loving you through this. I understand that there's fear and there's pain. Show me what I need to see. And when you get shown what you need to see, if it's scary, see if you can try to dance with that big energy. Try to embody that big energy that you're afraid of. Learn its dance, and then bring it back inside yourself so you can love it, understand it, and expand your capacity to hold a space of peace. If you'd like to talk with me more about this, or you have questions, please feel free to ask. You can message me or you can comment. But it's not passive to do your inner work, even in times of outward crisis. I wish you all a beautiful night. I love you all.